What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another preview. We're back. We play again. Doubt anyone is really excited about that fact, but we do play, and we play a tough game, a very tough game, even though Atalanta are winless in the last 3 games as well. It's still a very tough game because I think we have 1 win out of 7 in the league, And funnily enough, before I started the live, I finished watching. I had the Monza Fiorentina game on, and the commentator said, "Man, they lost 4 in their last 5," and I was like, "Man, cool." And I was like, "That's a lot." I didn't think it was that bad. Then I looked at the games, and they actually lost 4 in the last 5. They only picked up 1 point, and it was against us, which makes it even worse. But yeah, that's that. We will talk about the game, about the presser, about the potential lineup, which is going to be surprising in some regard. But let's talk about the transfers or the transfer news really quickly, because there are some stuff that did happen today / did not happen today. I think even more. I think what did not happen today is probably the news. We signed Alberto Costa, but I think we kind of knew that yesterday evening that was going to happen. It's between, let's say it's 50 million euros, including bonuses. It's, if you believe the reports, let's say it's 12.5 plus 2.5 in add-ons. He's on a very cheap wage. Some say he's on 800, some half a mil, some say a mil. It's cheap. That's a takeaway. So it's a cheap option to get into the squad. Have some fresh players, I guess, somebody to compete. Maybe offer something else. I did look a bit deeper, or like I read a little bit more about on the player. Still, on the tape, there's nothing really to see besides a few comps here and there, which mean absolutely nothing, because I think we can make a comp of gold miners and Vlahovic this season having a good season, and all the clips are, I don't know, out of 1 game or something. But on the player as well, like, it's cheap. Said it yesterday. You cannot really go wrong with it, I guess. And if he offers anything, then he offers anything. He is the complete opposite, basically, from Savona, because Savona is a player who keeps it safe. He doesn't. He loves to push on. He's not fantastic on the ball if you leave the stats, but I think that's more so because he doesn't really keep it safe. He loses possession, but when he loses possession, it's high up the pitch, not in our own half. So I think that's a positive. It will offer something different, because I believe once Conceição is fit again, Yildiz will be moved back to the left, and Conceição will come on the right hand again. And maybe if you have a player who actually potentially could overlap, it forces Conceição to play with the team more rather than try to cut inside, because Savona doesn't overlap or whoever, and he plays it on his own. He starts to play solo. So maybe we will see a different Conceição as well, purely because he's forced to use him in that manner. But yeah, it's too soon to say. Will he be a starter, this Costa guy? I don't know. I don't know anything about him. I don't know much, to not say anything about him. So I have no clue if he will be a starter, if he will get minutes. Adzic is not getting any single minutes. I forgot he was on the team, for example. So I don't know if that Costa guy is gonna get minutes. If you bring in a player in January, you assume you do that so they can have an impact. Otherwise, you could have signed him and told Vitória, you can keep him until the end of the season, and we try to embed him in the squad once the summer arrives. But the fact that they are bringing him in right now, you assume that he's gonna get used. He's gonna start a game here and there, and get an opportunity to show what he can offer to the team. Otherwise, it's a weird thing to do. If he's playing well, at Vitória lately, and you don't plan to embed him in the squad and use him, then, well, buy him if you want him, and let him play out the season at Vitória, and let him develop. So you better play him. Otherwise, it's kind of a waste in terms of potential talent and also funds for the January transfer window, I guess. So I don't know if he will play. Let's see. He will do his medicals Wednesday, Thursday, depending. And then, I don't know, maybe he will be on the bench for the game against Milan. But what did not happen today is probably the biggest news. I was listening to the presser, and he was listing the players that were missing, and I just sat back and I was like, he might have less players available than he had at the start of the season. Like, the situation is actually crazy. He has no striker available, and he has 2 fit center backs available. And I was like, there's still no news today, you know? Someone said, I'm worried about Araujo. I'm worried Barca will play with us until the end. I have a bad feeling we will overpay for a defender, maybe Araujo or another. So I was listening to the presser, but while I was listening, I was kind of drifting away in my thoughts. I was like, man, we might have less players available right now than we had at the start of the season. It's crazy. You know, he said Vlahovic is not there, Conceição was not there. I was like, we have no striker. And then you talked about, you know, Cambiasso as well, which we'll get into in a second. And I was like, we only have 2 fit center backs, and Giuntoli is out here. I don't know what he's out here doing, to be honest. I have absolutely no clue what he's doing. I was listening to a podcast, an Italian podcast, you know, between journalists, and they were talking about it, and they were saying, like, they have a transfer guy, guru, whatever you want to call it, insider, and he was saying that, yeah, Araujo is still the main target. However, the price tag is steep, and that might be a stumbling block. But he was like, but they're still following Tomori, and they will try again for Hansko in the end, and Mendes is still trying to do anything with Benfica for Silva. I was like, man, there's a lot of ifs, buts, and maybes, and hoping. And I was like, we need center backs. Like, we need center backs. You lost 2 on the season. You bring somebody new in, defenders, excuse me, but we need center backs. You're terminating Danilo's contract, and it's midway through January, almost literally midway through January. We have 3 big games we had, you know, with Torino, Atalanta, and Milan in 7 days, and there is no help. Like, there's no contingent, like, there's nothing. It all feels up in the air. It feels like if this doesn't work, then we will move on to this, and if not, then it's this, and I'm like, holy shit, man. Like, this is actually bad. This is really bad. A bad job, bad prepared, because Araujo was not a main target at the start of the window. That name only came up when the main targets kind of start disappearing, and that is my biggest fear, that you're gonna pay a lot of money for a guy that was not really high on your board, you know, because Barca are not letting go of Araujo, if they're letting him go, on a cheap. Like, it's not gonna happen. And characteristic wise, what I think, you're trying to replicate what Bremer was offering to us until he went down. But what if Bremer comes back? No, not what. When Bremer comes back, excuse me, then you have 2 quote-unquote similar players. You're still missing a type of player that your coach actually prefers to have. And you spend, I don't know how much money, excuse me, on that Araujo, who, by the way, I don't know, missed it. He missed about 3 seasons worthy of games in the last 6 seasons. It's actually insane, you know? So you're trying to bring in a very injury-prone player to replace the injured players you're having right now, whilst you're paying a lot of money. And to finish it off, he was not your main target at the start of the window. So I don't really get the strategy. It looks very strange. It does, like, this transfer window sounds weird, you know. Yesterday there were links with Garnacho. Alfredo Padula was saying that the club was seriously thinking about trying to bring in Garnacho in the summer. And then I see the price tag that Napoli are offering, and Man U won, and man, you want to puke. Like, you actually want to puke, you know, that we are looking at these type of players for the fees they are, like, the fees attached to it. You know, when I look at and I'm probably gonna butcher his name, Elion Cherki, you know, depending on how you want to say it, you know, you guys can correct me in the chat. He costs peanuts. because of the financial situation, because the Lyon owner is insane, you know, he costs peanuts, and we're looking at a player like Garnacho, who, by the way, is not good. Like, that's a player that if you force me to watch him 39 games a year, I'll actually pull out my eyes. Like, it's a horrible player to watch, you know, frustrating player to watch. And we're looking at these type of players. It's extremely worrying, you know. Disasi, for example, being linked with him, even as a second option. I'm like, what is this? Like, it feels all over the place. It feels like we're absolutely not prepared whatsoever. And the result is going to Atalanta with no striker and 2 fit center backs. Colomani, same thing. New talks. Tottenham held talks. Man, you are monitoring the situation. If you want him, and apparently you agree terms with him, and PSG are open to a loan with an option, then pounce on it, because there is no striker available. We don't have, even if you think Colomani is not good enough, and you're like, man, maybe we can still play Gonzalez up top. You need to have a different option. You need to have something, you know, which we didn't have when we only had Vlahovic fit as well. It's halfway through January, and we're in the same situation. Like, for me, it's actually ridiculous. It is actually insane. I want to say I cannot believe it, but actually, I can believe it. I really can believe that we are wasting so much time. Like, it was kind of predictable at the end of the day. You know, it was predictable. Hope you can link up with Chico, same language, coming from the same league. Moreto said that we offer 50 mil today. That's even too much, in my opinion. I don't know if he said that. I have no clue. Did he say that? I thought it was Mundo Deportivo saying that we offered 50 and they want more. I could be mistaken, but I've not seen that. Araujo can also play as a right back when Bremer comes back. Yeah, but you have Kalulu, and you're bringing in this Alberto Costa guy as well. Like, I don't know. Like, Savona still, like, I don't know. Like, it's weird, I guess. United find despise them. All our wingers are better. Like, a lot of players are better than Garnacho, and it's actually not that difficult, if I'm being completely honest. It's a waste of money if we play Araujo as right back. We spend so much money that we do not play him in his main position. Yeah, we cannot spend 50 plus on Araujo and then play him as a right back like that. That's actually crazy if we do that, to be honest. Spiro saying Gatti will be sold 100%. Actually, it's good that you bring up the Gatti thing. I have a sneaky feeling that contract renewal talk is kind of a smokescreen. Like, it was all imminent, and now it's nothing. Is it because it's a January transfer window? I don't know. But if an offer comes in for Gatti, you pounce on it. Like, you ship him out. I'm sorry, like, play well this season, way above expectation, but it's not good enough. Like, if you can recoup money, you do that, and you reinvest that in the squad. You make the squad better. That goes for many players in the squad, by the way, not just Gatti. But I also have a feeling that it's not out of this world that they potentially could have end up selling Gatti, because let's be completely honest, that's not Juve level. Like, that's absolutely not Juve level. So let's see. So another day went by, and the main targets are not addressed. It's crazy. It's actually crazy, you know. It's weird. It's weird. It's crazy. It's for all. I don't want to make it as an excuse, but like, Motta's in trouble because that squad is not fit, and it's missing just players. Like, it's literally missing players and options, and the players as well are suffering because now you have players who are playing a lot. Some of them not playing well, but there is no option to replace him. Vlahovic, for example, has not been playing well, but Motta's sitting there and he's like, I don't have an option. Nico Gonzalez was out for 2 months. I don't have another striker. Like, we can all blame Motta for that as well if you want, but he only has Vlahovic, and Gonzalez was out for 2 months. Like, what do? Put Weah there, who, I don't know, I have more goals than him in his career. Like, it's weird. Like, the fact that we're taking our time, or Giuntoli is taking his time, is just mind-boggling. It is mind-boggling, but it is what it is, I guess. It is what it is. You know, we take it and we move on. We move on, and we will see what else will break later today or tomorrow. I expect a bad report from Di Marzio as always. Well, Di Marzio's still figuring out when Jorge Mendes is talking to Antonio Silva and Benfica. It used to happen. Was it last Thursday? Then he said, "Oh, it was Sunday," and he had nothing on that as well. I think Colomani will be done when Kvara is at a done deal to PSG. Yeah, the Kvara deal is insane. The money that Napoli are getting, it's insane. I think, yeah, it's actually insane. I think he has like 12 goals in the last, I don't know how many games, Kvara. A small beacon of hope, beacon of hope is that the teams we're fighting are equally shit right now. Fiorentina lost to Monza tonight. Well, that's what I told people, or tried to tell people. The pace Fiorentina are on and Lazio, it's ridiculous, and they're gonna fall because the managers did a fantastic job, but at the end of the day, they're two very average squad with very low quality in that squad. Lazio, I cannot name the Lazio players, nor can I name the Fiorentina players. And the fact that we gifted him a point, it pisses me off because that's not a good Fiorentina side. Like a squad wise and Lazio squad wise, there's nobody gonna pick those squads apart because they don't have any real quality in it. So credit to the both coaches, but they're always gonna fall off. It's natural because they're not that good. Okay, let's see what else will break in the next couple of minutes, and we'll pick up from that. If Di Marzio has anything to say, we will talk about that. Let's move on to the presser. It wasn't a very long presser as well, maybe because he's suspended Motta and he's not going to be on the bench tomorrow. Second time I think it is this season. Actually crazy. He comes across like a very chill and relaxed guy, but I think it's his second red card already this season. I don't think even Allegri managed to do that in that short amount of time. But he spoke about the moment because he was asked about 12 draws, you're not winning, you're throwing away games and results, and it's just not good. Period. In general, there was also a report today, I think it was from Il Bianconeri, saying that Locatelli and the players asked, Motta for a sit down, and you just need to laugh at those reports because they make absolutely no sense. They make absolutely no sense. It's a buzz article, which, it's actually insane that people went for it because I don't even know how that works. They sit down every single day, so I don't even know how that actually works. But he said we're angry because we did not win the derby but we're focused on tomorrow's challenge against a team that's doing very well. Well, actually, the last couple of games are not doing very well. We're the first to be angry. Not being happy is right, but we have the conviction that the work we're doing is the right one to earn some wins. We've definitely made some mistakes, but actually said I definitely made some mistakes. We could have won games that we did not. We are the first to be angry. We work every day to win. Sometimes we did very well. Other times we had difficulties. Now, to be honest, we also did not lose games we should have lost. Venezia, Bologna, we should have lost those games, and we managed to get away with it. So maybe that balanced itself out. But in general, we dropped points the last couple of weeks when we shouldn't be dropping points. We shouldn't be dropping points, and we did drop points. Dylan plays 70 million Kvara to PSG. Yeah, brilliant work from De Laurentiis again. Could have sold it early on. Same for Osimhen, I guess. He messed that one up. But still, 70 mil for Kvara with the form he's in ever since that great season is crazy. So credit to him, I guess. But yeah, we are making mistakes lately, and we're making the same mistakes. I think that's really the issue right here, that we're making mistakes week in, week out again, and it's the same thing, and we talked about play Yildiz on the right, which I'll talk about in a second, play him there, do this, do that, but at the end of the day, is it really about players' positions? Let's say we played Yildiz in the 10, will we not have conceded those 2 goals against Fiorentina the way we conceded against Milan, against Torino? We'd have still conceded those goals, because even if you play Yildiz in a 10, you might have a few more moments, but as a collective, as a team, if you switch off, every single time you go up 1-0, and you can see at the first half decent chance, you can see it, then Yildiz in the 10 or Colt Miners further back or Cambiasso overlapping and so on, that's not really going to do the trick. You know, the mindset of the team is completely wrong. It's completely wrong. They cannot see out a game. They can only react when things are getting cold, you know, even against Milan. Because the last I rewatched, by the way, I cannot believe I did that. I rewatched the last 50 minutes plus 4 minutes of added time of that Torino game. Those were, and it's not to praise anything, those were probably the best 20 minutes I've seen us play since since ages. It was better than the first 20 minutes against Fiorentina. The last 20 minutes, 15 plus 4 against Torino, were good. The movement was good. It was more fluent. It was quicker. It was faster. And I just sat back and I was like, that's just because you're chasing a game or chasing a result and because you're forced to do that. That is, time is running up. We need to do something. That's not minute 20, you're 1-0 up. We're going to push on. We're going to keep doing the same thing over and over again until we get that second goal. That's not the thing. So for me, it is a mindset thing because I can see you can do it, but you cannot do it when we absolutely need to do it, you know? And you need to do that when you're in full control of that game. You're 1-0 up and you have a Torino side who, quality-wise, are mid-table-ish, running. Like, the only thing they were doing were pressing. And I was like, we played out of the press perfectly in that second half. So why was that not the case in the first half when we were in control possession-wise, and for some reason you handed it away? So for me, it's a mindset thing. It's not about playing Yildiz on the 10 or play minus deeper. Like, it's all things we want to see, I guess. But it's not going to help us long-term if this team cannot convince themselves that they can win games when they're in control of that, which is actually insane that we're talking about it, that this team cannot win games when they're in full control of it. It's not that we're going down 1-0 and 2-0 and we need to find our way back into it consistently. That's not the case. It's the other way around. Like, we go up 1-0 and we end up chasing a game because we gave it away. So maybe tomorrow it's the other way around, because I think everybody, or like 80% of the fan base, is assuming we will lose tomorrow and we will probably go down. So maybe it's a different type of performance we will get. But tomorrow we will not have possession. We will not have a lot of possession. We're probably going to need to play a ridiculously clean game on the break, you know, because that's just the reality right now, and somehow survive at the back, somehow not, you know, be played off the park. Udinese, that first half, I don't know if anyone watched Udinese Atalanta on a Sunday, on a Saturday at 3 or what was it? I doubt many were watching that, but I had it on, especially that first half. The second half, I was kind of ghosting away from that game. That first half, the amount of chances Udinese missed were ridiculous. The way they were putting Atalanta to the sword and actually putting them completely away was insane. Like, it was actually insane. We will not do that tomorrow. We will not do that, even though we have more quality than Udinese. Because they had belief. They felt, man, this Atalanta team is not the same they were 4 weeks ago, you know, on that pace. And we're just going to put them to the sword and we're going to push, you know. So let's see, but it's probably not going to happen tomorrow. You know, we'll probably see out or try to see out the game and sit back and hope we catch them on the break, and hopefully everybody can get. Oh my God, actually, Conte is a war criminal. They want to go for Garnacho, and they ask information for Werner. He's actually a war criminal, Conte. But yeah, like, people want the Conte, and I agree with the passion he brings. But man, the players he leaves behind when he pisses off, it's actually insane. Okay, let me see. To be honest, we are better when we go down. Let's see. Torino spent a lot of energy in the first half. We have to consider that as well. I have to see this from the beginning of the game and in series of game. Believe we can do it. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. But still, like, the quality on the ball was so good the last 20 minutes that I was like, even if they press you or not press you, you should be playing that type of football anyway. If you play like we played Man City, it can be a guaranteed draw or win. You got me in the first half. I just saw the win. Like the guaranteed draw thing. It's like we can play like crap or like against Man City, we can still end up drawing games. That's our kind of our specialty. Okay, let's move on to the other things he had to say. Not a lot. I don't have a lot of things, but he spoke about Mbangula, a player that, in my opinion, gets a little bit too much disrespect. He's not Yildiz, obviously. That Timo Werner Lukaku partnership would be something for both. Yeah, that's that. If Conte turns Werner in a half decent player, man, just I don't know, give him the keys to the country, I guess, because yeah, he's bad. He's really bad. But Mbangula, a player that still gets disrespected, I think. I don't think anyone overrates him, but I do believe that a lot of people underrate him, too much. Because, like I said, he's not Yildiz. He's not as explosive, you might say, as Conceição, but 9 out of 10 times he makes the right decisions. Like, he makes the right decisions. He very, very, very few times does he lose possession. Very few times. He always makes the right. Like, you can lose possession now and then. Like, it's possible in the position you play, but very few times does he make the wrong decision. Maybe the wrong decision was not to play it a second earlier for Gonzalez for the 2-0, but those are things you will learn by playing much. But I do think he gets disrespected a little bit too much, because for a player, like he is saying, he said, I'm very satisfied with what I've seen from Mbangula. He's taking great responsibility and has done very well. Last year he was playing in a different league, so he's doing very well. He's a very selfless player. He understands how he has to help the team, and he does it well. That's what I said. Like, he's not a flash. He's not an explosive player. But even though the last couple of games he shows more, do I need to call it explosive? He showed some more intent to beat this man. And against Torino, he beat this man a couple of times, which he probably wasn't doing the previous games. It was more, let's keep it safe. But he has the abilities to go past players, not on rapid pace, but pure because he moves the ball quickly and he's gone quickly. That means you don't need a lot of pace. You can just skip past the player just purely on technique. But he is a player who sees things, and right now he deserves to start. Is he a world beater? Absolutely not. He's absolutely not a world beater. But I'd rather watch that, for example, than I'd rather watch like a player like Mbangula play, and this might sound ridiculous, than a player like Garnacho play. Or for some, it might be, or a player like Rashford has played lately. Blindfolds on, and even Conceição is kind of pissing me off lately. Just blindfolds on and just running into, I don't know, like running into players, not looking up, not looking at his teammates, not willing to connect with his teammates, not willing to link up with teammates, so on. I think Mbangula could even be more better if you have fullbacks who actually overlap, because that gives himself more license to cut inside, because he can do that as well. He has the technique to come inside, and play that ball, like I said earlier on with Gonzalez. Maybe a tickle too late, obviously, because he was offside. But in general, if he's a player who, he needs more confidence, obviously, but he's getting that confidence because he's playing right now. And I thought he got sopped off against Milan when he wasn't as good as in the start of the game, but he was still good. Like, he was still playing well against Torino as well. Like, he was playing well from minute 1 to minute 90. He was having an impact. So credit to him, I guess, and credit to Motta. To give him that belief. It's weird that the players nobody was expecting anything from, Savona, for example, and Mbangula, have probably exceeded everybody's expectations, and the players we all thought were just gonna do their thing are not doing their thing. Like, that is actually the weird thing about the season. The players we were like, whatever, are outperforming the players who were like, okay, you are these guys. You're gonna make us better instantly, and they are not doing that. So that's also kind of a weird thing that's going on right now with Mota. I have no idea how that's actually possible, but yeah. Okay. Does Mota make the bold decision to bench Scope? We'll talk about that in a sec when I pull up the predicted lineup. And Yildiz through the center, same thing. Di Lorenzo looked like a dumb player, and look at him now. Do you think Douglas Luiz will start tomorrow? Again, we'll talk about that in a sec. We have too many players with no M product that needs to change. I agree with that as well. I think we said that. Remember, I did a stream with I think it was the second podcast with no, it was the first podcast with Julian this season. I think during the summer transfer window, I was like, the players we have are not goal scoring machines. I said, like, Yildiz is not a goal scoring machine. Vlahovic is not proving to be that. Conceição is not that as well. Gonzalez is not really that. Milik is not that. And I thought we lack that a lot as well. Excuse me, pace. You know, we don't have a lot of pace. The only pace we like, real rapid pace, Conceição, but Timothy Weah, and he has no clue how to use that as well. So that's kind of pointless. But we do miss goal scoring. Like, we do miss players who know how to find the back of the net. Like, Colt Miners was that player. He's definitely not now. So that's also not helping. But in general, yeah, I agree. We do like those type of players. Talking about Yildiz, a lot of talk at the start of the season when we gave him the number 10. People hit the like button, by the way, smash the like button. I remember when we were handing him out the number 10 this summer, and people were making, in my opinion, ridiculous statements, because I've said it many times, you know, this is not 2006. Like, football changed. The number 10 jersey is for sales. Like it or not, we are part of the problem, because not me, because I have a different solution. But I don't know, like, for example, in the United States, if you want to watch NFL games, and probably somebody in the chat knows that, how many subscriptions do you need? Some games are YouTube, Prime, Peacock, Netflix. Okay, it is free for this time, but like, it's ridiculous. Same goes for football. You know, if you want to watch Champions League, you need, I don't know, DAZN. But if you want to watch the league, DAZN doesn't have the Serie A. Like, and you need another subscription. We're part of the problem, by the way. We're part of the issue, because we keep paying that. You know, if the club puts out a new, I don't know, like, purple jersey the next couple of weeks and call it exclusive, only 1,000 for sale, and those 1,000 are out of the door within 10 minutes, even though they're absolutely dreadful, you know, they're part of the problem. We're part of the problem, because we excuse me, because we lap it up, you know. We pay, like, look at Arsenal, for example. I think they released like 6-7 jerseys this season, and people are lining up in before the shop to buy those jerseys, even though they're absolutely ugly. You pay the money because it's exclusive. It's something from the club. It's all about money. So we're part of the problem. That's when we talked about the number 10. I'm like, chill. But if you really want to talk about the value of the number 10, and does a player deserves number 10? A number 10, in my opinion, should be a player who you want to go to the stadium for. Like, you want to go to the stadium to watch that player play. You know, Del Piero in the past, Tevez, Pogba. Like, those are players you want to pay money to go to the stadium. That's that. Players that, I don't know, like, make you enjoy football. Players that, like, have something about them, have some confidence about them, have some belief in them. And he ticked all those boxes, Yildiz. Like, he ticked all of those boxes. Pressure, I never thought pressure was a thing, you know, which is definitely, he has proven that pressure is absolutely not a thing, because he he goes through the motions every single week. And yes, he might, have a bad game now and then. He's only 19, and this is his first full season. Keep in mind, like last season, he got, what did he play? 6-7 games, then went to the bench again. This is his full season, and we're relying heavily on him, like extremely heavily on him. And he's playing well. And lately on the right hand side, he's playing even better, because it doesn't limit him. For some reason, he drifts inside more than when he's playing on the left hand side. I don't know what the reason is, but that's the reason. Like that's happening, and he's having more of an impact, So credit to him as well for, flourishing on a different position, because he played left, he played number 10, and he played right this season, And I think he also had a cameo playing as a false 9. Was it against Inter maybe? I don't know. But in general, the number 10 is not really a thing for him. He deserves that jersey because that's the type of player you want to have wearing the number 10 of your club. Or like, that's how I'm looking at it. 10, 20 years from now, you're like, Pogba got the 10. It didn't work out. I get it. It didn't work out because, well, the injuries and the doping stuff and whatever. But still, the idea of him getting the number 10 is pure because the talent he has. Because let's say Pogba replicated, even for 2 seasons, what he did before he left us, nobody will think about the number 10, It's only because it didn't work out, And nobody's going to moan. Like, I'm not going to moan about it. It didn't work. Fine. Like, it didn't work out. We lost money. That is the issue. Not that he wore the number 10 or got the number 10. But no pressure. However, he said he's still very young. Who's growing fast. I'm very happy. He has great quality. He has to improve. He can be more aggressive. He's a player who's always present, which is important for him and for the collective group. What he said in the last couple of sentences is key, in my opinion. Even if he's having a bad game, he's always involved. That's what I do like about him because, like I said, he's 19, full first season. You can have bad games, but even in bad games, he's involved. Like, he doesn't shy away from taking on the player for the 10th time, even though it's going to fail again. At least he's not giving up. That's what I do like about him. Against Torino, he stepped up. Like, he stepped up again, and actually the entire game he played well. He's a player who actually looks like he cares, and he actually wants to make something happen, even though you have a feeling, okay, this is gonna get boring, and we're just gonna bop the ball around, and hopefully we will find the back of the net at any point. But as a number 10, like, he wants to be at the club as well, which is also important to me. Excuse me. What I don't like was when it was in the summer. I saw a lot of comments when he got the number 10 jersey, and you probably can look it up on Instagram from Italian Juve fans, saying things like, when is it going back to an Italian player and so on. I'm like, when Italy produces a very talented number 10, I guess, and he plays for us. Like that, the fixation of this needs to be Italian, this, and that. What about this just needs to be good? And he is good. If he's Italian, if he's Turkish, whatever, like, does anyone really bother if he's 19 or if he's 25? If you're talented enough and you can wear that, bear that pressure for some, then it's cool. Like, do you ever watch Yildiz ever since he wore that jersey and you're like, man, it's too much for him. Like, he cannot deal with the pressure of number 10. No, it was very obvious that he was going to deal with that because he's very relaxed. He comes across like chill, relax, he just wants to play football. That's how he comes across, That's why I was like, it's never going to be an issue with him because he's just focused on playing football. And he actually genuinely was excited to get that jersey. It wasn't for him, it wasn't a marketing stunt. It was for the club, obviously, but for him, it was like, I'm getting the number 10. Like, I'm 19 or 18 at the time, or was he 19? And the club's telling me, it's you. You're the next one up. And he stepped up. So, yeah, good for him, but he is right, Mota. He still needs to improve in certain areas, which is actually scary that he still can improve as well. IPT TV and D-Gate solves that problem. Say no more. Thank God we have him because there's no one else that can make your dream for something big. I agree. In my opinion, young players need to feel important and valued to do their thing and improve. That's something that Mota has done very well. I also agree with that. That's what I said with Savona and Mbangula as well. The area Yildiz can improve is seeing the pitch a little bit better. That's it. I think he's good at everything else. Maybe become a little stronger, but that comes with time. Yeah, he has improved with that. Remember at the start of the season, there were like a 3-4 game stretch. Maybe I'm saying too much, where he was not getting involved with his teammates. It was very early on in the season after we won 2-3 games, or like after we won 2 games. Was it post Milan, Napoli? I think it started there where he had 2-3 games where he was actually blindfolds on and was forcing things, and he was trying to do it all on his own. And I think he realized that that's not going to work. Now it would be good and fantastic if Conceição wakes up tomorrow and he realizes that I have teammates when I'm playing. I don't need to do it on my own. That would be great. But he had that stretch and he improved. But I agree, at times he also needs a just cool, collected, because he can play passes that not a lot of players can, in the league, let alone in the squad. He needs to stay calm at times. I think that's what Mota is saying, but it will, like I said, it will come good with time. It will come good with time. Let me see if there's any news, because I forgot to put on Sky Sport. Napoli, yeah, Napoli are willing to close the Danilo deal. Couldn't care less about that, to be honest. If they're gonna win the league, Napoli, it's not because of Danilo. It's because they were the better team already now. That's how I. And if he wins that, then good for him. Good for him. It doesn't mean we should have kept him. It means we need to replace him. That 100%, but not keeping him. The area we are lacking the most is number 10. Oh, you mean literal number 10? It depends, the way we want to play. If you want to use him, he can play number 10. So you have an in-house solution actually wearing the jersey number 10. But yeah, like Mota's making the Koopmeiners decision, and that brings us to the starting 11. The predicted starting 11 is this one. So Di Gregorio in goal, apparently. So no Perin, which I think is going to be the case as well. I think Perin will get a start against Milan. So Gatti, Kalulu, Cambiasso on the right-hand side, and McKennie stays on the left-hand side. That's the latest report. Thuram, Locatelli comes back in the team. Douglas Luiz back on the bench. Koopmeiners, number 10. If you watch Yildiz and Mbangula and Nico Gonzalez, obviously, because we have nobody else. Yeah, you have Timothy Weah, but come on. You're not going to play Timothy Weah. On Koopmeiners, like in the presser, like he said, if Koopmeiners is fit, basically, then the team plays well. He said that post-game. And today in the presser, he said... that Koopmeiners is important because he said he's a player I imagined he would be when he came in, which is a lie. Maybe like characteristic-wise and work rate, maybe, but output and quality, definitely not. However, he appreciates the hard work. The hard work we probably do not see or do not understand, because we want to see quality. We want to see goals, assists, especially goals. We want to see him make those 2-meter passes to, put Mbangula one-on-one with the goalkeeper to make it 2-0 and game over. Like, we want to see the very simple things at this moment in time, which we're not going to see. But he's not going to bench Koopmeiners. It's not happening. Like, we can have that talk about on this channel every single time. He's not going to bench Koopmeiners. I feel sorry for Douglas Luiz because I think he deserved... It wasn't a world-class performance against Torino. However, I think he deserves to start again, and actually deserves to start in the number 10. But Locatelli is back. He's going to play Locatelli. Like, he's going to play Locatelli, and he's not going to break up the Locatelli-Thuram thing. It's just not going to happen. So that is the lineup. No surprises, bar the Cambiasso for Savona and McKennie keeping his position. I think a lot of you would, or like me, was assuming that Cambiasso will come in and McKennie gets replaced and Savona gets, keeps his spot. But apparently it's the other way around. So, yeah. Ciao guys, I'm new on this channel, came from Juve Cornercast. Gio just shouted you guys out saying that I should watch you. Yeah, thanks for Gio. He will be on the channel, by the way, on Wednesday. Back. Big show on Wednesday. I have 5 guests on with a new one as well. So it's gonna be a hectic show, depending obviously on what's happening in the transfer window and what will happen tomorrow when we play Atalanta as well. But thank you, Angelo. Nice to have you on the channel. We need some type of move fast. What the fuck is going on? We can't keep playing with lineups like this. Yeah, we need a striker. Like Mota can come on the presser for the next 1,000 years, talking about Nico Gonzalez can play as a number 9. He's not a number 9. We need something. Like, we need something different. And at the back, I'm just scared about an injury, and then we are effed. Like, that's my biggest fear right now. That's actually my biggest fear. Both Kalulu and Gatia are Torino level, not Juve. Come on, Giuntoli, move. I think they're better than Torino level, but I get your point. Like, yeah, we need quality. You know, when you lose Bremer, it's very obvious. Araujo remains the first choice for the defense. The club is ready to go back for Tomori. If Barcelona do not open up for Araujo, yeah, that's actually ridiculous. That's actually ridiculous. Like, that actually does my head in. You know, do you do a show with AG Cast? Yeah, we're planning to do one. We haven't done one for a few months because of time zones and stuff, but we're planning to do a show together again. That actually does my head in, the Tomori news, because oh my god, like, there's no plan. Like, if that's actually true, there's no plan. Like, what is the main target? Is it Hanchko? Is it Tomori? Then you go back to Araujo. You believe you can get Araujo. Barcelona are like, nah, it's not gonna happen. And you're like, Milan, please give us Tomori, who's playing now under Conceição. Like, it's actually mad. Like, if that actually is correct news, then yeah, like that's actually madness. Like you just hope. I mean, you just hope it's completely bullshit, because that is incompetence of the highest order. Like, it cannot get any worse than this, to be honest. You know, going back and hoping Milan are open to move on a player. Yeah. The Macho Trash news as predicted. Yeah, you were spot on. I think you got it. Kalulu was doing good stuff at right back before Kalulu Bremer injury. That's when we really realized he was a bargain. Even if Bremer was still there, he would still be playing at a very high level, I believe, at center back. You know, but I thought, yeah, he's like, I thought at right back he was playing well, but I thought with time he was gonna pair up with Bremer at the back. That's just my opinion. I'm gonna cry if we get Tomori. Yeah, I do not rate him. I watched it on the weekend. I'm like, oh my. I agree that Atalanta's not on form right now. Maybe it's the best time to play them. Did I say that? They're not on form. I said that earlier on. You know, maybe it's the right time or the wrong time. Maybe they will snap back into it. One sec. Yeah. By the way, it's actually match day 19. Is it match day 19? No, it's match day 20. Is it match day? Yeah, okay. I mean, it's match day 19. We play Atalanta, but it's match day 20 for us. No, it's match day 20. It's match day 19 to play Atalanta, but it's actually our 20th game in the league. I think it is, because we played Torino twice. If you sell Miretti, bring in Miretti. If you sell Fagioli, no, Miretti's doing okay at Genoa, so let him play there. Let him play out the season at Genoa, which is good for him as well. Actually, the Tomori news is pissing me off. It's really pissing me off. And I'm not even saying... I'm oh, Padula is hilarious because Padula is saying that Araujo already told his teammates, I'm out of here. Let me read out the article really quickly from Padula, or let me translate it really quickly. Okay, there's a complete agreement with between Juve and Araujo. And trying to reach an agreement with Barcelona. He refused to renew his contract with Barcelona in 2010. Because he doesn't like the figures, and he wants a new experience. And the injury to Inigo Martinez doesn't change anything. Okay, so oh my god, that's a lot to unpack. So basically saying if he's not if you are not saying Araujo, is because Barcelona are going to force him to not leave, rather than actually, believing in him and he wanting to stay because he has an agreement. And he also saying that keep in mind that Juve have Hansko basically as a done deal, but for January. Pedula, is he still good? He's the best. When it comes to Juve news, ever since Giuntoli came in, he's the only one I can trust right now. He's actually the only one I can trust when it comes to Juve news. So that's the news from Pedula. So complete opposite of what what Di Marzio is saying. It's actually unbelievable. Canacho said yes to Napoli. Oh my God. Give me 1 second, people. Well, 1 sec, people. Bear with me. Let me get it out. But yeah, so according to Pedula, it's not off between Araujo and Juve. It's actually very much on, to be honest. Let me get this one out really quickly. Here we go. Yeah, sorry. So yeah, that's that. To be honest, it doesn't make sense to force him to stay for a muscle injury for Martinez, and they will also lose a lot of money. Yeah, I don't know. Does anyone know how long that Martinez guy is going to be out, by the way? Because I've not really followed it up. So, yeah. They're not going to force... Like, they could force him, because he's under contract, but then you have a player who, has a different 4 to 5 weeks. Okay. So I said 3, 4 last night. So I was kind of close, but yeah, I don't know. Let's see what would happen. But if he tells Barcelona I have an agreement with Juve and I want to get out, do not want to sign a new contract, then yeah, I think Christensen is on his way back as well. Somebody told me, or like a friend who supports Barca, who some Barca fans actually do rate higher than Araujo. So who knows how that is gonna unfold. But yeah. Prediction time, people. I'm gonna go. I hate predicting losses. I usually do not predict losses, but we're gonna end up losing a game soon in the league. It's just gonna happen, and it could be very much happening tomorrow. Like, let's be completely honest. I know Atalanta have not won a game in 3, but let's be completely honest. It can happen tomorrow. I'm gonna go. Nah, I don't want to predict a loss, even though I think we're gonna lose. I'm gonna go 2-2. I'm gonna go 2-2. Why not? Because when I say a draw, it's not gonna happen, and I don't have a feeling we're gonna win. So we'll probably end up losing that game. But the easy way is to go draw, because 12 draws and 6 wins. So the most common thing is a draw, but when I say draw, it's not going to happen, and I don't think we're good enough to beat Atalanta at their place at all right now. I'm not scared of Atalanta, but we're not good enough, right now. So, Yeah, 2-2. 2-2, I guess. We just need a solid performance. We need a win, obviously, but we need a good performance as well, you know. So, yeah, 2-2. Team now knows how desperate are for defenders. They will drive up the price for average players. Yeah, in fact, that's why I said you should be prepared being Malta. Believe it or not, we will win. I do not believe it, Kamau, but it's good that you believe it. Be positive. Stay positive. Just say a draw. Yeah, 2-2. We will lose 2. We will lose 2-0. Says Anna. So not everybody is as confident, and I do not blame you. I do not blame you guys. But yeah, people, that's it for me. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Hopefully tomorrow, a positive match reaction, excited match reaction, and if not, we will discuss everything tomorrow. No, that's a lie. Wednesday. Live show with 5 guests, so stay tuned for that. That's going to be the first time I have so many people on, and it's going to be a good one, you know, from the game to the transfer window. A lot of things to discuss, probably a lot of different opinions, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, that's it. Stay safe, have a good evening / day, and